Hello there, welcome to another edition of So Your Wife Wants You To. In this edition, we are doing something a little more manly than what we sometimes do with baking all that stuff in the kitchen and all that crap. But today, we are changing out spark plugs. Now my car calls for iridium, which pretty much comes with a secondary loan on the house. They're like $7 or $8 a piece, so I got 4 of them. Luckily I only have a 4-banger. But here's how you change the spark plugs. So we pop off this, there's 4 boots, a little rubber boot. Boot, and there's one under there. So what we're gonna do, pull this, there's 2 bolts right here, and then this cover comes off, and we'll pull that one. 2 bolts right there, this cover comes off, pull that one. That's basically the premise. I'll show you here in a minute what it looks like when you pull them. Now, some of the tools I use are a big extension. This one's about a foot long or so. You don't have to have one that long, but you know, at least 6 inches or so is good. I like to make things easy, but and this is a, hold on, focus on there, come on. Oh, there we go. I knew this phone could do it. Just a little 5/8. 5/8 is usually the size you need. Now there's a chance. Don't roll away on me here. I'm trying to do a video. There's a chance that it could be an 18mm. I've never once used this on a 4 or 5 cars that I've had, but you know, I've had it since I was a teenager. I just keep it in there. But usually 5/8 is what you want for these things. And then just a 3/8 inch ratchet. Something like that. That's all you need. And for this, these 2 extra bolts, not all cars have this. But you know, you got to get to those 2 bolts, and it's just going to be, usually it's a 10 or a 12. So if I could tell you, if you didn't have any tools and I told you to buy a few things, it'd be a 10 socket, 10mm, 12mm, 5/8, and then an extension and a little ratchet. Alright, get to it. Alright, I got these things loosened up. Now this thing is going to come right out. See, it's coming out. Actually, we're gonna always find a safe place for your bolts. You don't want to set them in the car on the engine compartment. Look, you see the bolt? No, and that's the thing. Either you won't see it or it'll fall down. And if it falls down and you don't hear it hit concrete, it means it fell down somewhere in there, and we don't want to do that. I've done that more than once. And don't be afraid to disconnect little connectors here. And this should come right out. No, sometimes you gotta disconnect things. Pull on this one first. Don't be afraid to pull. These things are just kind of connected. Don't be afraid if there's oil. See oil right there? That's alright. It just means your valve cover gasket's kind of leaky. Might be time to change it. For me, I'll change it eventually one of these days sometimes. I don't know. Okay, yeah, there's definitely oil on that thing. So it's kind of, as long as you got spark and as long as the oil isn't like welling up to where it's splashy and all that, it'll be alright. And then we just put this guy on. And there we got that. Now we go in and get her. So that was just the plug, or that was the plug wire. Now the spark plug's actually down here. You can feel it kind of catch. There we go. And that's tightening, so we want to loosen. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Just unscrews. And this socket that I have, and I'll put a link in the description for you. This socket has like a little rubber thing, and that rubber thing kind of grabs onto the, I don't have it yet. I almost got a little more oil than I like in there. I might have to change out the valve cover gasket soon. But anyway, it has like a little rubber thing which holds on to the spark plug so you can get it out a little better. Some of those don't have it, and you just got to kind of wiggle it out. I'll show you. Alright, so I got it out. It came out just like this. And look at all that oil in there. But the most important thing is, take a look at the very tip of it. Alright, take a look at the very tip there. See how it's dry? Like all the way, all the threads and everything are oily, but the fact that the tip is perfectly dry, that tells me that there's no oil getting in the cylinder and messing with the, you know, the spark and everything. So even though there's a bunch of oil in there, getting all nasty, I'm not 100% terribly worried. And whatever oil gets in just from this oil change is just gonna get burnt up and blown out the exhaust. So it might smoke white for a second. Want to turn it on, and it's gonna go away. So that tells me it's not the head gasket, it's just a really leaky valve cover gasket. So it's just another thing that I'm gonna have to fix. Good times. Alright, so that's basically it. I'm gonna actually pull all four and then I'll get back on here and show you how to put them in. Thought I'd show you side by side of the new one and the old one. Look at the difference. And the main difference, obviously one's oilier, but the main difference is, look at the very tip. See the tips? Look how far away on the right, that old nasty one. Look how far away the spark is. Like there's a spark that has to go across that gap. Look how far away that spark it has to go versus on the new one on the left. It's going to be a lot hotter of a spark, and it doesn't have to travel as far, so it's going to be a stronger spark, which means more power. So this is just way past time to change these things. That's kind of the basics of it. Show you in just a second the rest of it. And another thing, I suggest getting, and it's hard to see, one tube of anti-seize if you don't have any. This stuff here, you buy one tube for $6, it'll last you the rest of your life, as you can see by the condition of this thing. But you just put it on, you can put it on brake parts too, but in this case, you just put it on the threads. I'll show you here. Just put it on the threads of this right there. And the oil actually probably would work too, but we're gonna put a little anti-seize on there. And that just means that if you have to get back into your car or like take these back out, you don't want these threads seasoned up, because you're gonna break this thing. I've actually broken one in the past, and half of it will be in the car still and half won't, and it's a huge pain. So a little bit of anti-seize on the threads and you're good to go. And that's about all I use right there. Just kind of put it on like that. Pretty easy. Alright, something small that happened, but these are the type of things, this is why I do these videos, because you're not going to see this in just a how-to. Because there's always a how-to with a caveat. So in this case, this one was a little hard to get out. So it was in there. And when I tried to pull it out, this little hard piece of plastic broke right there. And it's just kind of like the skeleton that holds the wire in place and everything, supports the wire. And it's really just like the last quarter inch. So instead of going to the store and replacing everything, I don't think it's a big deal. But right there, if you could see, try to focus here. Yikes, the sunshine's starting to come in. You can see two little pieces right there. And I do not want those to fall in, because if they fall in and hit the top of the piston. And then they're inside of the engine. So those two little tiny pieces of plastic, it's worth it to go grab the vacuum, turn it on, and we're just going to vacuum them up before they fall in. Sometimes doing things that's going to take 3 minutes extra is worth money and worth a whole lot more time trying to fix it. So just go like this, and boom. They just suck them up. Done. Now it's not a problem. Now if I would have tried to pick them up with my fingers, they probably would have fallen in. I probably would have been like, oh great, who knows what would happen. Sometimes it's not anything that happens, but if it was a rock or a piece of sand, it's even a worse issue. So, you know, just the little things. It's just the little things that kill you. Alright, that's about it. Alright, sunshine's really come out here, but so this last one was, man, there was oil all over the place. Not good. So I'll be doing a valve cover valve cover gasket replacement video here pretty soon. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and that will kind of tell me that you like car videos, and I could do some more if you want. Because I always, if there's a problem, I'm not just the how do you do this type of person. I'm like, how do you do this, and when something goes wrong, how do you fix it? Because that's really what it's all about. Oh, like that right there. See, I don't edit this stuff out. So that's just the air scoop. Apparently it's in bad shape. Don't put your elbow on the air scoop. That's our lesson for today. But other than that, I'm gonna put it back together. And here's a look at the little old ones here. They're pretty bad shape. And that's it. So please give me a like, subscribe, tell your friends about this show, and I will see you next time. Oh, I'll put all the links to everything that I've done in the description. I got all sorts of, I'll look up all the tools and everything, the spark plug tool and everything else. So, you'll have that in case you want to make up your own little kit. Start getting some car repairs done, because man, they are expensive. This thing cost me $28 for the spark plugs. If I'd have had a shop do it, it cost $130. Not kidding. That's it. Talk to you later.